Venus just entered Capricorn early this morning, my time, mountain time. And so let's take a look at what this looks like in the sky and what this means for us personally. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at the amazing software, astronomy software by stellarium.org, which is free. So if you're into this kind of thing, I highly recommend getting it onto your computer. So here is a few hours ago, Venus had already moved into Capricorn just a little bit before, but I just wanted to kind of show where like the sun was up on high, right? So we can't see Venus when the sun is up. You actually can, but you have to really be able to know where she is and track and find her. I've only ever seen her once the sun is up, once before when the moon was like exactly aligned with her. And so I could track looking at the crescent moon and then find the faint little bit of Venus there. So let's turn the sun off so we can see where Venus is. Okay, here we go. We've got Venus right here on this cross between these two lines, which I'll explain in a minute. Mercury, Mars, Saturn over here, Antares, the heart of the Scorpion constellation. We'll turn on the constellations and their art so we can see that, right? Antares right there. So here is Venus at the galactic cross. So it's the place where this yellow line and the orange line meet. And what are they? So the yellow line is the path of the sun, also known as the ecliptic. So as we spin on the Earth, the sun has the same pattern that it makes through the sky, and that's the yellow line, the ecliptic. The orange line here is the Milky Way line, the galaxy line, right? So the galaxy surrounds us on all sides. This area is where we look through to the center of our galaxy right here. So this is called galactic center. And then on the opposite side is Orion's hand. And there's another cross there where we look out of our galaxy, galactic edge. And those are the 0 Capricorn, 0 Cancer points in the sky for us. So this cross right here that Venus reached today, 0 Capricorn, is where the sun was on the December solstice, right? This is the 0 Capricorn point right here at galactic edge on this galactic cross of the line of the Milky Way meets the line of the ecliptic, right? So it's special that we live during a time when the solstices are happening on these galactic crosses. And so some people say that's why we're in a special age of where it's a turning of the age where things are changing, right? So hopefully, fingers crossed. So anyways, what does it mean now for Venus to reach this 0 Capricorn point? So Venus represents our feminine aspect, no matter how we identify, just like Mars represents our masculine aspect. And it's all, Venus represents all aspects of the divine feminine. So sometimes modern astrology, traditional astrology as well, will really limit Venus to being about topics of like love or romance or money, and Mars the limit to being like aggression and war and drive, right? But Venus can be Kali, she can be Wonder Woman, right? And Mars can be like the healer energy and the empath, right? So I like to focus on the divine feminine and the divine masculine and letting them have all the incarnations, right? Because Venus moves through all the signs, Mars moves through all the signs. So they're both allowed to have their full, complete expression. So now Venus is has moved into the expression of Capricorn for a few weeks until February 16th. And so what does that mean to have the divine feminine moving through Capricorn? So Capricorn is an earth sign, so it's grounded, it's practical, it's more where we experience the world with our senses, our physical bodies, where we can touch and smell and taste and experience that, right? With our senses. That's earth. It's grounded, right? So the divine feminine is coming into a grounded sign. It's a sign that's serving others. So it's focused on how to take care of the community. And Capricorn does that by being that indigenous idea of the Americas, the indigenous people of the Americas, talking about the circle of grandmothers, right? The grandmothers, the wise ones, the wisdom keepers, the ones who know how to do things. They know how not to do things. They're practical. There's an efficiency to that grandmother wisdom keeper energy, right? I always like to think of it, it's like your grandmother saying like, oh, honey, you could do it that way, but you're like making it so hard on yourself. Why don't you do it this way? Because I've done that a bunch of times in my 80 years on the planet, right? That's the Capricorn kind of energy, right? So sometimes Capricorn sort of gets this bad rap of being like boring, or it's like they should be CEOs or administrators. And yes, they have that ability, but it misses the fact that they're the wisdom keepers, right? They're able to manage and they have the efficiency because they know how things work and how to get things done. And that's a good thing. Like Capricorn is supportive of us being able to get things done here in the real world, right? On the earth, the grounded piece. So our divine feminine aspect is taking a movement through the wisdom keeper, our sage, that crone type of energy sign. So we have this opportunity for 3 weeks-ish to tune into our inner wise ones, right? Listen for our inner guidance, tune into our internal grandmother, right? What is she trying to tell us? What is she sharing with us? Are we at a crossroads? Are we making, feeling confused about certain things? Let Venus in Capricorn drop you in so you can listen to that inner wisdom and let that come forward and help inform your decisions instead of just like spinning in the mind, trying to like figure it out. Like let your inner sage during this time come forth. Just listen. Maybe it takes some practice. Maybe you're already adept at that, but it's really a nice time over these few weeks to just tune into that and let that inner guidance be our guides, right? And trust that, right? We have that feminine aspect that lives within us, regardless of whether you have Capricorn, a lot of placements in Capricorn on your chart or not. Capricorn lives in one of the houses. So we all have all these aspects in varying degrees. So Venus moving through Capricorn is a great time to tune into that. You could look and see what house Venus is traveling through for you. Maybe there would be some themes around what this Venus in Capricorn piece would be for you with that house alignment. Just throwing that out there is like a little bit of a deeper step. And the last thing I'm going to say is, because I'm such an aromatherapy person, right? Plant medicine, I just like aromatherapy myself. With my Taurus midheaven, I want it to be the full sensory experience. So aromatherapy does that because it's like smells and tastes and feels and all of that. So I love ponderosa pine for Capricorn. Any of the trees really fit that Capricorn place because they're the sentinels of the forest. They're the ones kind of watching out for everything. They're grounded, they're rooted, right? That is that Capricorn energy. I wish you could smell this. It's so divine. But it's just like immediately you just feel this like grounding. You feel yourself be able to connect into that inner wisdom grandmother of Capricorn. So wishing you well on this journey through Capricorn of our divine feminine. And I hope that it's a productive time for you to be able to tune into and really listen to your inner grandmother who really knows like what's best for you and what the next steps you could be taking are, and really is just there to guide you into a deeper connection with your soul. All right, enjoy.